All right, let's jump right in. The nations of the Gulf Cooperation Council are in the middle of this huge, coordinated push to build a totally new kind of economy. We're talking about one that's powered by data, AI, and digital everything. But you know, this isn't just about grabbing the latest tech. It's way bigger than that. It's about fundamentally redesigning their entire future. So you should think of this less like a slow, gradual change and more like a massive, deliberate construction project. The GCC states, especially Saudi Arabia and the UAE, are literally laying down the foundations for their future. They've got these clear national visions, incredible amounts of sovereign wealth, and really aggressive deadlines from the top.
And the scale of this ambition? It's just staggering. I mean, to put a number on it, Saudi Arabia alone is targeting a contribution of over $130 billion to its GDP just from AI by 2030. That really gives you a sense of the economic weight we're talking about here. Now, this whole transformation rests on 5 interconnected pillars, so let's break them down one by one.
First up, we have pillar number 1, sovereign AI. And this is all about a huge strategic shift from just using AI to actually creating it.
Now, sovereign AI doesn't just mean having the coolest software. No way. It's about owning and controlling the entire pipeline, from the advanced computer chips and the data centers, all the way up to the large language models themselves. The end game here? Complete technological independence.
So the strategy behind it is really what's crucial. This is all about becoming self-reliant so they aren't dependent on outside tech giants. It's about having crystal clear goals for how AI is going to fuel the economy, and maybe most importantly, making sure every single dollar invested has a direct, measurable link right back to growing the GDP.
Okay, so you have this grand ambition for sovereign AI, right? But a new digital economy needs a totally new financial system to run on, and that brings us to our second pillar, completely overhauling the region's financial plumbing to make it faster, way more efficient, and much more connected.
You see, the old system was just bogged down. You had money trapped, endless payment delays, and the super complex web of correspondent banks that slowed everything to a crawl. The new model, which is being built on distributed ledger technology, or DLT, promises a whole different world. Faster trade across the region, instant settlement of transactions, and a huge wave of new opportunities for FinTech startups.
And hey, this isn't just some idea on a whiteboard. Project Aber, which was a joint effort by the central banks of Saudi Arabia and the UAE, has already proven that this stuff works. They confirm that a shared digital currency can totally eliminate the bottlenecks of the old system. That's a huge deal. It basically de-risks the entire concept for everybody else.
The third pillar is where policy really hits the market. Governments aren't just, encouraging this change. They are mandating it. They're setting these really aggressive deadlines, which has the effect of creating guaranteed demand for all this new technology.
I mean, just look at these targets. The UAE is going for 100% end-to-end digitization of all government services by 2025. Saudi Arabia is aiming for 90% digital government maturity in that exact same time frame. These deadlines create a powerful sense of urgency.
And the takeaway here is absolutely critical. Meeting these goals isn't just about building some shiny apps for the public. It demands a deep automation of all the internal government processes. So what does that do? This mandate is basically creating a massive new business-to-government, or B2G market for any company that specializes in AI and robotic process automation.
Which, brings us to a pretty natural question. If your government and your entire financial system are going fully digital, how in the world do you power and protect this new digital state? Well, that leads us directly into our final 2 pillars.
These last 2 pillars are really 2 sides of the same coin. They cover the foundational data infrastructure on one hand and the new consumer economy that's being built right on top of it.
And the numbers here really show you how significant both sides are. We're seeing over $3 billion just pouring into the hard infrastructure, the data centers. Meanwhile, the consumer side, the creator economy, is already valued at a whopping $38.5 billion.
So here's how they work together. You have these strict data residency laws that are essentially creating data fortresses. This forces huge investment into local data centers to protect national data. At the very same time, the consumer market is going phygital, a blend of physical and digital. The booming creator economy is merging online sales with real-world physical delivery, which, in turn, is pushing logistics and quick commerce companies to evolve into these all-in-one super apps.
All right, let's bring it all together now, because the most important thing to understand is that these 5 trends, they're not happening in isolation. Not at all. They form a single, connected blueprint for growth.
Let's just walk through the logic again. Sovereign AI gets built to boost national productivity. The new DLT Finance improves the efficiency of the whole economy. Government mandates create guaranteed demand for high-end tech. Data localization laws build the essential infrastructure base. And then finally, phygital commerce comes in and reshapes the entire consumer market for this new era. You see? Each piece reinforces the others.
So this is no accident. This is a highly integrated top-down strategy for long-term digital growth, and it's all backed by crystal-clear policy and an immense amount of capital.
Honestly, it's one of the most ambitious national transformations happening anywhere in the world today. And it leaves us with one final, pretty fascinating question. With the blueprint set and all this capital flowing in, what on earth will the GCC build next?